Good morning, fellow collectors, pen aficionados, hoarders, whatever we want to call ourselves. This is an interesting one today. I'm going to be, I just wanted to run through this basically because I've sold it to somebody on Facebook Marketplace and I'm going to meet him for a coffee in a few hours' time in the centre of town and say goodbye to this beautiful thing. Not the box, but the contents. Let's have a look at what we have. I bought this in an antique shop in South Wales about 30 years ago. And as soon as I saw it, I wanted it. It's a Minerva desk pen set. I'm just holding it here. There's a sort of silken cushion with it. The stand itself is very heavy. That's got to weigh almost a pound and a half, maybe slightly more. And we'll look at it. But this is the box. The box itself is quite tired. You can see the card behind the lid of the box has effectively gone. There's a pair of very strong ribbons here. I lifted out, or I tried to lift out the base earlier, and there's nothing underneath it. The markings on the cloth base have been there ever since I bought it. There are some clasps at the side, but you can see because the box is misshapen, sorry, they're at the front. They will clip in, but if I were to move the box, look at how damaged the box is here. And there are some little hinges hidden beneath the covering of the box. But if I undo the clasps again, we can see that the whole thing opens. Again, you've got this misshapen over the years, but this is from the late 1930s up until perhaps the late 1940s. It's difficult to prove the age of it. There's nothing on the base. The base is plain and unmarked. But let's have a look at the stand. I'm going to put the pen to one side. It's a very heavy stand. It has a green baize cloth to the base. There's a marbling effect. This could be marble. It probably is. It's difficult to get a sound response. No, it is a stone piece or a stone feature that has been shaped and cut to take the pen in this beautiful groove here. And I've used it over the years occasionally to put pens in. So for example, does that one fit? No, look, that rests on the ring that goes around the barrel cap. Would my Schaefer fit in there? Yes, that fits quite nicely. I think we know what else I could try. Let's try this Schaefer, the broader one that I got from a pawnbroker's in Mexico. Again, that fits very nicely. Beautiful pen, by the way. I love the inlay on that nib. It just makes the whole thing one beautiful piece. And it's a beautifully weighted writing instrument. So just a range of things here. Let's try that one. That works really well, both for the length of it and also the way it fits within the recessed groove of the marble plate. On top of the plate, we've got the actual receiver for the pen, and it's on a ball bearing system. You can see that there. Let me bring that up to the camera a little bit more. There we go. So you can see that rotates very easily, very smoothly on the marble. I'm guessing it's drilled in. In fact, yes, I can tell that because just here I can feel an indent. So there must be a cut through there, and the brass fitting has to be screwed in underneath, and then it's been covered with the baize felt. Right. Let's have a look at the pen itself, because this is why we're all here, isn't it? So this is a Minerva. The Minerva company was a subsidiary of the Omas pen company based in Italy. The pen itself is actually quite elegant, I would say. Let's look at this compared to an A5 book. So here's one of my standard A5 moleskins. Let's put that there and look at that for the comparison. Very similar in size. I think there's probably not quite a centimetre of difference between the length of the moleskin A5 notebook and the Minerva pen. So that gives us a perspective on the size of it. This piece here is simply elegant and protrudes from the desk pen holder. It's a lever fill. If we look here, you can see the lever there. I moved it years ago and it was easy to move, I think because of years of simply sitting on a shelf or sometimes being a pen ornament for me. Sorry, a desk ornament really. That probably needs some help and some leverage. Let's have a look. I'm going to use a magnifying glass because this is the only way to spot it easily. Now I can see it with my eye. No, it's very difficult to see here. Okay, so there's the lever. And if I rotate, because I've got the light above me, it's slightly difficult. There we can see it says Minerva, but you're going to have to trust me on that. If I put it within the light range, you can see it there, I think. So basically, I'm going to take this away from below the camera and actually hold it where I can see it better. So underneath it says in block letters Minerva. It says Roma. And then it says marker. I think it says DEP. Yes, it does. It says marca, MARCA.DEP. And when I was looking at it again the other day, having listed it for sale on Marketplace, I spotted something else which I'd never seen in all the years I've had it. There it is. I'm going to raise it to the camera in a moment, but let's see if we can pick it up here. Yes, I believe we can. It actually says encyclopedia. Can I read it without the magnifying glass? No, I'm going to go back to the magnifying glass. Yes, I've got it. It says Encyclopedia Treccani, TRECCANI. Can we read that at all here? Yes, you can see that within the shaft of light that's coming in through the window. Encyclopedia Treccani. There we go. So this must have been some kind of incentive or a gift or a giveaway, or maybe if somebody bought, I don't know, in the 1930s or 1950s, they bought the Encyclopedia Treccani. Would this have been something they received as a gift? Who knows? It's a beautiful pen. If we just look at it and dip it, let's see what we get from it. Let me take a clean notebook. I'm just going to put that there. I think for the sake of ease, I'm not going to attempt to fill it, but I'm going to use this royal blue from Mont Blanc. let's actually place that on there, a little homage to the marble. I do love the colour of this ink, it's so beautiful. This is the ink that I carry these days in this beautiful orange and gold resin pen. Again, a tribute to an Italian pen. Taking the wrong one. So I'm just going to dip this. Okay, so let's see how that works. So it's simply been dipped. There's the nib. The nib, by the way, has this beautiful inverted heart. Can I do that there? Yeah, there we are. You can see the cut line from the fold of the nib. And actually it is, to quote a song, in the shape of a heart. So let's just try this one. I actually think that does quite nicely. It's a beautiful fine nib. Here we go. Minerva desk set. Not bad for a pen that is probably somewhere between 75 and maybe 85 years of age. But it's this, a Minerva, going to a good home. Man is going to come into town by train today to meet me, and we're going to have a coffee. And then he will have this pen for his collection. And it's nice that it is leaving my home and going somewhere else, all part of that decluttering process, which is an ongoing thing. In fact, I'm going to dip it in there. And then I'll take that to him. We're going to meet at my favourite coffee shop in town. But it'll be a nice thing for me to know I'm not selling a pen for the sake of £10. I'm passing on an item that I have found beautiful and nice to have in my collection over multiple years. But as we look to move house and downsize and all those sorts of things, it's good to give something a new home, to let it be discovered by somebody else and enjoyed by somebody else. And it can be an addition or an ornament to their desk or to their home and be something beautiful that works for them. So that's my Minerva fountain pen. And I'm saying goodbye to it today so that it can find its new place in life as we go through that whole process of decluttering our home. My favourite book, always my best-selling book. Meaningful Work is doing nicely, but this has constantly been a steady seller for me, and I'm just doing the same thing again that I did when I was writing that book, which is thinking, do I need this? It is beautiful, it has function, but how often am I using it? And for that reason, it's time to say goodbye to this beautiful Minerva desk pen and marble desk weight set.